Greetings, greetings. Hey, this is Iyanda Siraj, the Eclectic High Priestess. I am so glad to be sharing this space with you. If you're new and haven't joined the fam yet, welcome, welcome, welcome. Um, hey, it's always a pleasure to be here with you sharing this space. If you are a regular, welcome home. All right, so today we're going to be doing a ancestral messages reading. And these messages are messages from ancestors of the diaspora, um, all the way up to current day. So, I mean, if you feel as if you are in alignment with those energies, whether you are of the diaspora or you are an ally, then be prepared for good messages. Okay. So today, the crystals that we have to choose from, we're going to do three messages or three groups. We have Muscovite for group one, the Master Healer or Golden Healer for group two, and the Lapis Slate for group three. It's not about the race either, it's the marathon. There go Nipsey coming through. All right, so here we go. The way I'm going to do these messages, shout out to Urban Intellectuals for these Black History flashcards, because that's what we're going to use for the basis of our reading to tune into who it is that wants to talk to us and give us some messages today. I love these joints. They have multiple decks, but today I have the second volume of the Women, the volume 4 pre 1492. Before that, Dude Sail the Ocean Blue, and then I have deck 3, which is the Steam deck. Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're going to kind of get one card from each deck for each pile. Okay, so let's get started. I haven't shuffled anything. Look at the Moors. Come through, Moors. Come on. The Black Moors of King James IV's court. Come on, Maroon Society. Come on. Okay. Anyway, so let me shuffle these real quick and we'll get started and I'll put the messages out. I'm just going to say a quick prayer of gratitude to the ancestors, to the Holy Spirit for being here with me today, for the angels, the galactic ancestors that work with us as well, for allowing me to be in clear and concise channel for you guys. And we just ask for the messages that the collective needs right now to support their personal journeys, whether they need a boost of confidence, whether they need to be reminded of their power, you know, direction, insight about what to do right now. I mean, anything that is pertinent for the collective, that's what we're asking for. All right, so I'm seeing big hieroglyph energy. Here we go. We got the Rosetta Stone, and we got Hatshepsut here, both showing up. So there's definitely some Egyptian energy showing up for us today. Okay, so 3 groups, please. For group 1, what do we have here? What messages do you have for group 1? Honorable ancestors. Oh, shoot. Okay. So let's just take 1, and I'm going to put this with group 2. And then let's go with group 3 here real quick. Since we already pulled out 2, let's get it done. All right. Interesting. Okay, Maya. Mama Angelou coming through. Nanny of the Maroons. Maroon Society. I'm telling you, they up in this speed today. Some good messages already. I can feel it. Okay, Michael Jackson, come on. Y'all, Michael Jackson been talking to me anyway. I had a whole dance party to Michael Jackson maybe like 3-4 days ago with my daughters. We was going ham. Ended it with Earth Song. What have we done to the world? Look what we've done, right? So anyway, it was a good time. So we're going to get in there with these 3 groups. So I'm going to set group 2 and 3 aside. For group 1, we have the Shang Dynasty of China. I'm going to read the notes that they have on the back for you guys, and then we're going to work through channeling the messages. So with the Shang Dynasty, it's the first Chinese dynasty to have archaeological and written records. Chinese writing began to develop. They had a 12-month, 360-day calendar, advanced astronomy, math, art, and military technology. The location of the Shang Dynasty was in North China's Central Plain. Many believe the founders of the Shang Dynasty came through Iran from the fertile African crescent. With the first Shang king, a stable government was formed with a social structure that would last about 600 years. Archaeological evacuations in 1952 showed the city had walls that were 32 feet high, 65 feet thick, and were 4 miles long. Developed musical instruments like bells, bone flutes, chimes, and drums. Okay, I think this card is really speaking to us about inclusivity. About the expansiveness of our being, okay, about the seeds of our culture, or the seeds of us that are within the world all around us, okay? So whether you want to look at that as a race thing, or if you just want to look at that as the spirit of the peoples that we're talking about, but it is talking about being seeded all over the world, okay? I also feel too with this energy, it's talking about not only just the seeds, but of true origin. So it's talking about the validity of records, the validity of records. I feel as if, because we did have the Rosetta Stone show up over there a while ago, the validity of records is coming up. So there might be some information coming up soon about records that are falsified or poorly translated. Okay, this could have to do with the diaspora, but it could just also be in general, because with these messages, we just talked about the expansiveness of our being. These messages can come through the news or whatever the case may be, but I do feel as if there's going to be some news about mistranslations and things like that of sacred artifacts. Okay, I'm also picking up on, again, on the same line, artifacts that were said to be from one place are actually from another. And actually what's coming to my mind is the early scene in the Black Panther, where Killmonger was in the museum, and the lady was explaining to him where that piece of work was from, and he corrected her and told her where it was actually from. And so that's kind of what I'm picking up on with the Shang Dynasty of China. So I'm not sure if this is going to be some Chinese artifacts, excuse me, but I just heard that some of these diseases too. So there's gonna be some new information coming up about certain diseases, about where they actually came from. So this could be talking about, our current situation that we have going on. I dare not say it, right? But it could be talking about that, since, we do have rumors that, it came from over there, that it was leaked from a lab, and all these different things, right, that are being said about it. So I feel like there's going to be maybe an exposure in some area or some way about the origin of that as well, okay? So let's move on and get through these cards. Muhumusa. Okay, Muhumusa, a Rwandan warrior queen and spiritualist, widow of Rabugiri, chief of Rwanda in the late 19th century, forced into hiding in the mountains with her son after her husband was killed by his stepmother, followed the Nyambing religion and was thought by many to possess the spirit of Nyabingi, the ancestral queen, because of her intelligence and charisma. Became the leader of the mountain people and led an anti-colonial struggle against the Germans and British, who were trying to take over the region. Her power scared the British, who put the Witchcraft Act of 1912 into place in Rwanda to try to reduce Muhumusa's power when she was captured and exiled. Okay, so this card here, I was speaking the other day in a reading about the fact that soon it was the open legal cases reading. And I said that soon we're going to have more legislation, more laws and decrees or whatever else in place that speak about witchcraft, okay? They're going to have to include it as a crime or whatever the case may be. And it's going to be in medical cases and things like that, where it's going to be cause of death, witchcraft or whatever. It's going to be there. I feel like it's going to be prominent because we have had times where it was, and it was just kind of like brushed over or cleaned out because we were led to believe that it wasn't real. What happened was actually the powers to pass, they're not going to be in power much longer, but the powers to be took the magic and they were using it for themselves. So they couldn't create laws against it, or else we would all know it existed, right? And we would all know the mechanisms by which they were controlling us or manipulating our environment, our perceptions, okay? So I do feel like this is one of those, that last message about the Witchcraft Act of 1912, it definitely feels like it's going to be something that spreads over into the US and then other countries, okay? Other countries too, who have yet to adopt something like that, okay? Because actually there are current, Haiti has laws like this. There's some African countries that also have laws that include witchcraft, okay? They will penalize if it's found that there's a witch doctor who's practicing immorally and things like that. So I do feel like this is speaking to that. And then the fact that this one woman, let's talk about that. This one woman influenced them so much, frightened them so much that they went and put whole laws into play. So if one woman made the British put these laws into play, think about what is happening here in the United States as people awaken to this wisdom and this knowledge, and they start to use it in their everyday life. Imagine the fear that the higher ups must feel right now. And so this is why I really feel like it can't be long before we do see some type of inclusion of it in certain systems, because I don't think that it's going to be, we're going to be able to ignore it. It's all over the place. When I was growing up, this was just 20 years ago, right? I'm 33. So just 25 years ago, nobody was talking. Well, I wasn't aware of it, so I wasn't privy to it. But there was no widespread information on this. My personal, experience. It was a lot of secret doing it. So now it's more open, out in the open. I do feel as if there's definitely going to be a lot of documentation, a lot of record keeping, a lot of laws coming into play. Also, intelligence and charisma right now. Okay, so I want to point out to someone who needs to know this. Reading tarot, doing any spiritual work, actual ritual work and things like that, that is not the only gift you possess. Okay, somebody needs to know this. You actually possess gifts that are much powerful than any type of magic. Okay, and when we talk about intelligence and charisma carried by a woman who also has sensual power and all these different things, this is what we're going to be. This is what I need you to know. Whoever you are out there who needs to know, your power lies in your natural ability to charm, to seduce, and to use your intellect. Okay, it doesn't have to be in studying this or studying that or mastering this practice. You have magic powers that are far surpass some ritual work. Okay, all right. So I do feel like somebody needed to know that, because you needed to know. Maybe you're looking for your thing. Your thing is what you naturally do. Okay, so this also talks about too. I would wonder why her husband was killed by his stepmother. I can only believe that it has something to do with position, authority, maybe even inheritance, land, cattle back then, right? So it would have been over some type of property, probably. And so that might be something that's going. I mean, actually, it's not a might. many tarot readers and psychics are picking up on the energy of a lot of inheritance being held from folk, land stolen, all these different things that are going on just to keep people from like their birthright, from things that are due to them. So I do feel like Muhumusa is also speaking to us about that. Her card is number 37. That's a 10. So I do feel like if you are a person who feels as if there's something being held from you that belongs to you, that's rightfully yours, then that cycle is ending and you're going to have justice. And the thing is, I would even lean in to say that your specific situation may cause certain rules to be changed when it comes to like claiming property and things like that, especially if this comes down to deceased people's wills and estates and things like that, because sometimes, you know, like from what I know about it, you know, they will, if nobody claims it, they'll post it as a public record, and then they have to have it posted as a public record for so long. But if you don't know that even the person even passed away or that there was anything to look for, then you might miss the deadline for claiming it. And then other people can, you know, other family members or something might be able to come forward and claim it. Okay. So I think that they're saying that there may be some more rules that are put into place about validating ownership, okay, or verifying ownership in the future. And your case might be a very significant case that leads them down that road, okay? So then we have ALVIN AILEY. In the arts, he was a dancer, known as one of the leading modern dancers of the 20th century. He made his Broadway debut in Truman Capote's House of Flowers in 1954. In 1958, AILEY founded his own dance company, the ALVIN AILEY American Dance Theater. AILEY's company went to produce works such as Revelations and eventually began touring around the world. In the 1960s, AILEY stopped performing, but did continue to produce works such as Masakela Language, which emphasized the Black experience in South Africa. In 1974, AILEY expanded his dance company by establishing the ALVIN AILEY Repertory Ensemble. Throughout his career, AILEY produced about 80 ballets. Come on now. Come on, ALVIN AILEY. What do you want to talk to us about? Again, I think he is reiterating about the expansiveness and how much you can accomplish, okay, just through your own being, okay, and how like it's like it's speaking of legacy, but not just in the fact of like just what you leave behind, okay, but it's talking about again natural talent, growing your natural talent, and then building a legacy off of that, from that, okay. It said, what was it? 80 ballets. And then also just think about the fact that a Black male in ballet in that time in the 50s, right? It could have been, I don't know the story per se, so because I haven't studied to know like what type of, you know, backlash and things like that he probably faced, if there was certain criticisms, if he was ever blackballed. But I'm picking up on this energy, because in order to build something like this in the 50s, you would have needed to literally be Christ, right? Because you would have constantly been come up against, people would have tried to devalue what you had to offer. I mean, like I say, blacklist you so that you would give up. So I think that that with ALVIN AILEY, this is something that's being spoken about. I can't overlook the Revelations. I don't know anything about this work, but Revelations, it speaks to, remember, an ending of times, okay? So I feel as if this is definitely, you know, kind of telling us that there is definitely a cycle closing where misinformation, where people being put at a disadvantage because of who they are, it's coming to an end. And perhaps we can't completely eradicate it, or, you know, perhaps we can't completely eradicate it, but I do feel as if there's a message about kind of basically deading it, you know what I'm saying? Deading it to where it's not even a thing, really. You know what I'm saying? It still exists, but it's not really affecting anyone, and people are able to get done the things they need to get done. ALVIN AILEY passed away in 1989. Okay, so this is one of those. I've been watching. I just finished watching American Horror Story, and so I've been thinking about the energy of the 80s, because when that show ended, it was really there was a lot of talk about not forgetting the 80s, okay? And I'm an 80s baby. So I do feel as if this is also speaking to the creatives, the people who were born in 80s. The people who were born in the 80s are considered to be indigo children for the most part, okay? So and indigo children tend to have that creative nature. They tend to want to break the rules. They tend to want to stretch boundaries, okay? So again, this is speaking to the expansiveness, right, of your being, okay? How much you can truly accomplish, how much has been accomplished before you, even in much harder times than we live in now, okay? So if you need that vote of confidence, then ALVIN AILEY is saying, look what I did, and look what I did during a time that I wasn't even allowed to freely live, like freely move around, honestly. But I was using my natural given talents, and that's what gave me favor, okay? So I think that somebody out there needs to know that you will find more favor when you are showing up with your natural abilities. This doesn't mean that you won't have other things that add to what you can naturally do, but it does mean that you need to make that your foundation, okay? Yeah, it's saying that that as your foundation will take you a lot further, okay? What do you guys want to add to this? It's 20 minutes already, so just give me 3 cards and we will close this. Let's clarify the Shang dynasty of China real quick. What message do you want to share with about the Shang dynasty of China? 8 of Wands. Yeah, remember I said about records, the 8 of Wands is look, a post. It can be post mail, snail mail. It can also be information being spread. Okay, so we did talk about record keeping and things like that. I do feel as if that's what's gonna be taking place. Whatever credit has been given to other people's about work, about artifacts and things like that, it's going to be corrected in the near future. I have the 8 of Wands here. Wands tend to be really fast, so I would say but not as fast as swords. Okay, so I would think that maybe this would be weeks. In the matter of weeks, we might find that something 2222 is just up there. So 8 weeks, we might find that there's information being shared publicly about this. Okay, now I don't know necessarily that it'll be about the Chinese, about China, but it could be, and I think, remember, we talked about it being tied to the medical things that are going around right now, so this could totally be the case. For this information, I want to try to see who this is in the back of this card real quick, because I'm not sure. I think it might be relevant. Okay, so actually this card it represents Eshu, the god of communication and messengers. Okay, and then you have James Beckworth in the back. Is James Beckworth. Looks like he's climbing a mountain. So yeah, I think this is about some, like I said, accomplishments, the credit for certain works and things like that. Yeah, and Eshu in this picture it has an orange loincloth on. So I feel like it could be some type of creative work. So if I don't know, like, it doesn't have to be creative, but it can totally be writing or the arts and things like that. So it's definitely going to speak too about inventions. Over the time, we're very aware of the times that people have taken credit for inventions that were created by someone else. Okay, so right now what's coming to my mind is this lyric that I wrote, and I said, well, without that filament, all Edison had was a piece of glass, right? Shout out to Lewis Latimer, who created the filament that went inside the light bulb, right? So that also is one of those things. I feel like the ancestors are really just reiterating that message that I gave. This could, like I said, very speedily, because the 8 of Wands is a speed card. It's giving me 8 weeks. So this could be actually, if you as an individual, if you find that you have been trying to claim rights to your work or something like that, or if you have found that someone else has claimed rights to it, then this will actually come with a sense of celebration, because you will have victory in the situation. Okay, can you please, Muhumusa, what else do you want to tell us? Muhumusa, what else do you want to tell us? Queen Mother. Muhumusa. What else do you want to tell us? Okay, the Tower card. Yeah, come on now. Now, okay, I gotta turn this back around so I can make sure I see this right. Okay, yeah. So now I do feel as if, okay, so emotion, King of Cups down here. With this card, I do feel as if this is speaking about witchcraft again. Look at this. This person right here is decaying. This thing is decaying, but it's living. So you know how and I spoke about Haiti. The story that I read and how I came to know that they actually have rules and laws about witchcraft was I ended up watching this documentary about the zombies. They call them zombies, but there are people who are believed to be under heavy witchcraft, and so someone has basically taken their soul. Okay, and so they're zombies. They're just walking around, and they mumble, they don't speak well. They have to be cared for, fed, cleaned. All somebody has to do it all for them. So I do feel as if this is really speaking about that. And this, there's a village here, so being wiped away. So also some truths could be revealed about use of magic and how creating storms, creating natural disasters, even the diseases that are out here, even the diseases that we're dealing with out here, and how they're created and used for mass destruction, okay, or to destroy communities, right? They just flood the communities with these different things that are meant to bring death and decay. Okay, so I feel like that's also a thing. Now, there is a sense of resistance I'm picking up on, because this queen, this warrior queen, she was not scared. Like, she went off by herself and went and hid. So this gives me Dr. Sebi vibes, people who have the power to heal, people who hold ancestral wisdom, and people who are using it to enforce the rights of people, right? So I think that this is definitely what Muhumusa is coming with. Musa is just one of those powerful names. It just never, I can never hear it and not hear power. Okay, because we all know that Mansa Musa, he's not related, but we also know what Mansa Musa is still to this day known to be the richest man in the world. Okay, so again, this could be how these things are washed through these neighborhoods and communities because of the wealth that's able to be built if they're able to have solid foundations. So they want to do certain things to destroy the foundation, which again, the witchcraft is something that has always empowered indigenous peoples, whether you're Native, whether you're African, whether you're Asian, Australian, whatever. It's always empowered the people to use their cultural practices, magic, right? To use their cultural practices to empower themselves and to create wealth for their communities. So I do feel as if this is something that's going to come up. Okay, so not only will there be some claim to these rituals and these practices, but there will also be acts and laws put into place to protect people who are at the receiving end of black magic or lower vibrational magic. Okay, so that's a beautiful thing. I don't think it's going to be very long with that, honestly, because there's a lot of stuff that's happening in the world, and individuals, even as I'm watching readings, sometimes the number of people who are coming in there saying that they had someone killed with magic, saying that somebody put, they got sick and they got this and they got that. It's something that won't stay under wraps for very long, and it's something that will have to be controlled somehow. You know what I'm saying? So, because people are abusing it. ALVIN, AILEY. What else do you have to say to the collective? ALVIN, AILEY. What else do you have to say to the collective? I'm sorry, but I like that song by Meg Thee Stallion. Okay, that's what it's actually talking about. Somebody out there. Okay, so the very first song I heard tonight, this is going with ALVIN, AILEY's message, because the very first song I heard tonight was a song I had never heard, but in the lyrics, the lady Iggy Azalea, she was saying, "I'm the strip club. I don't need no dark room. I don't need no lights." She said, "I'm the strip club." The song was kind of whack, but I like the message. You know, she was like, "I bring the vibe. I create the sacred space. It's me that you came to see." Right. So in this, Alvin Ailey, and then Meg talking about hands on my knees in the club doing that shit. So dance is an element here. Okay. So let's see what these cards say. 10 of Cups. Look at them dancing. I'm sorry. Okay, so Alvin Ailey got me dancing right now. Okay, then you have the 2 of Cups. So I'm hearing something about a dance team for sure. Like somebody might be out there putting together a dance team, or you may already have a dance team. If you have been looking to create more opportunities for this team, the answer is yes. You have the rainbow serpent here as a bridge to the ancestors, so it may be beneficial to incorporate some ancestral elements to your dance team's routines. I'm also picking up that you may need to incorporate ancestor veneration in your practice. Okay, especially if you're teaching young people, it would be a beautiful way to introduce them to just simple things like libation, how to pour libation. Okay, even when they're hydrating, teaching them that that's an actual libation, that they're fueling their body and quenching their thirst, but also their ancestors. Also teaching about dance and how it invokes spirit. Okay, this is also going to be very beneficial for you if you teach dance. Okay, your students, especially if they're of the diaspora, should be aware of what dancing is, the energetic act, or what's happening energetically when they move their body in an intentional way. Okay, so I do feel as if there's a beautiful energy here being shared. The 10 of Cups does mean too, with the 2 of Cups here, that there may be some contracts coming for you guys, but this is going to be through favor of the ancestors. Okay, through favor of the ancestors. And that's why I get this message of incorporating these things so that you can constantly give gratitude and invoke those spirits. Okay. I'm seeing that you're going to bridge some gaps as well. So, I'm not sure the dynamics, with the dance group. If it's not fully people, it's not full of people from diaspora, then it's also going to educate the young people who are allies. Okay, who may be on the team as well. They'll be allies, but they will be educated and they will know what's happening. Okay. The rainbow serpent, definitely coming down as a blessing. Oshunmare is the rainbow serpent. That's my indigenous middle name, Oshunmare, Rainbow Bridge. So that's a beautiful. Anyway, it's a beautiful energy to be able to invoke and connect with spirit every single time that you move your body, right? And I think that that's an important message here for someone. 10 of Cups. Let me see what we got here. The rainbow snake of Nigeria. Then you have Joseph Sinke of Sierra Leone. Rebirth, renewal, perfection of a situation, positive outcome, contentment, happiness, and family harmony. So yeah, so this would, yeah, I think that there's definitely also too um some element about partnering with a family member or getting some type of investment from a family member is big for you if this is aligning. Alvin Ailey says that if you do work with youth, then you can expect to to build a formal studio, like a formal space that will call in many people. So if you've been looking to do that and expand in that way, then it's favored at this time. Alvin Ailey is saying his spirit is with you and you can do it. Okay. Yeah, he said, looking at me sideways, looking at me crazy. So even if you've shared this with people and they don't think you can do it or they don't think it's possible, Alvin Ailey is saying yes, it is. Like I said, this is you. If this is you, then you are clicking cups with Alvin Ailey and making a contract that you will honor him as you are teaching and as you are going from this point forward. You may even be an embodiment of Alvin Ailey. Okay, so if you believe in that, you may even be an embodiment of him, and so you may benefit from meditating on his image or on his spirit. Okay. All right, one final message. Questions. Okay, so this group says questions. What you are thinking is absolutely correct. It takes courage to trust yourself, especially when everything points in a different direction. Beautiful message to close group one. All right, so that's it, group one. If you chose group two, the golden healer crystal or the master healer crystal, then we are going to jump in now. We have the Kingdom of Great Zimbabwe. The Kingdom of Great Zimbabwe was seated in an area surrounded by walls, buildings, and monuments made from stone. I just heard the word firmament, okay? So let's just put that note there. The name Zimbabwe is derived from one of two possible terms. The Shona language, Zimba Zamabwe, meaning great stone houses, or Kalanga language, Ziwe Mabwe, meaning homestead of stone. Though historians aren't sure who created the Great Stone Kingdom, they estimate it would have taken over 300 years and housed almost 20,000 people. Unlike other kingdoms, there are very few records of this kingdom, leaving most of their existence a mystery. Historians do know that the area had lots of gold and that trade with the Chinese took place since Chinese pottery was found within the ruins. The great city was eventually abandoned, probably due to climate changes that are common in this area of South Africa. I hate to do it to you guys, but it definitely feels like this is what we were talking about in the group one about artifacts being found in certain areas so that history would be changed, or what we know of history would be changed. Because if we're saying that these are the people who come from this area, but then we start to find artifacts of different people in that area, then that would prove a different theory. Okay, so what am I saying? There's going to be messages coming out more widespread. There's already this information out there, but it's going to become more widespread that people of the diaspora are everywhere and were everywhere. Where that we've been everywhere. Okay, so that's not to exclude anybody, but sorry, not sorry, right? Anyway, moving on. With the Kingdom of Zimbabwe, I do feel like this is speaking to the fact of what we said originally, of course, but I just thought about Stonehenge. Okay, I thought about all of these unique buildings and monuments that are made from stone, how intricate they are, and how much time and energy and intellect it would have taken to build them. This is number 44, again, about stability, about longevity, about I just heard in my mind, I just heard about Hitler. Okay, if you guys don't know, during that war, World War II. Okay, I don't know. I think it's World War II. The buildings that Hitler built during that time were the only buildings that lasted through the war. Okay, so they, even through all the attacks and all of everything that was going on, the ones he built were some of the only ones that were left standing. Okay, so something about that here, not him, but something about that energy here about withstanding. Okay, what has been created being here for dynasty centuries and forever and ever and ever. Okay, until the end of time, pretty much, right? Okay. I just heard also about civilizations that have been put under lakes and ballparks and all these different things, that have been built over communities that housed indigenous people or people of the diaspora. Okay, that have completely basically just forgotten and just taken out of history, and now we just have lakes and, like I said, ballparks and things. So there is something here about foundations, about home. Excuse me. Also, there's a translation of language again here, which we talked about in group one. So there is a translation of these words and giving these monuments different names and in law and in and in turn giving their significance a different meaning, like giving them a different significance because their names are different. Okay, sorry for getting all tied up. But I'd be remiss not to speak about the fact that they're saying down here, historians do know that the area had lots of gold, and that trade with the Chinese took place since Chinese pottery was found within the ruins. So I do feel as if you're going to find that that's some information that's kind of exchanged, or maybe like it's the opposite way or something like that. And then again, we're talking about stolen legacies too. We're talking about stolen legacies. Yeah, stolen legacies. It's coming up again for this. And then the firmament in thing, it's protected by the divine. These monuments are protected by the divine. That's how they've been able to withstand. That's how they've been able to stay all this time. I would even say that probably is the same case for that other man who was pure evil, um, but motivated by his own pain, right? Anyway, the kingdom of Great Zimbabwe was seen in areas surrounded by walls, buildings, and monuments made from stone. Yeah, that firmament word keeps coming up as the energy of what you build, what you're building in this time is going to be protected. It's going to house or feed or encourage, inspire, heal hundreds and thousands of people. It's going to be in droves. Okay, so I think that maybe you not as an individual, but something that you're going to step into, something that you're going to become a part of, and build from the ground up is going to have so much longevity. It's going to be protected by the ancients. It's going to be protected by the ancestors. Okay, by heaven. It's going to be protected by the angels in heaven. You know what I'm saying? All right, so let's move on. We have Maya Angelou here. Poet, author, civil rights activist, authored the first nonfiction bestseller by an African-American woman, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, as well as a number of poems, novels, and autobiographies spanning over 50 years. Contributed to the civil rights movement as a fundraiser and organizer, working with both Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X. Was the first Black woman to write a screenplay of a major film and the first female poet of any race to recite a poem at a U.S. presidential inauguration. Oh my God, I just got chills. I remember watching that and it just gave me chills, honestly. So if you've never seen that, you should go watch it. It's on YouTube. The video of her performing that poem. Received many honors over the years, including the 2010 Presidential Medal of Freedom. Okay, again, this is talking about, I'm thinking about the place that creatives play in politics, the place that creatives, artists, and things like that play in any of these political movements. Okay, the voice that we have to use to become activists. Okay, using your creative talents as a tool or mechanism for activism. Okay, is what we're talking about. I mean, that's not all she did. I mean, she's an all-around activist because not only was she in politics, but she was an activist for those who were sexually abused, those women who were downtrodden. Okay, those who had to endure certain pains and struggles that she had to endure herself. Okay, I think that this is really speaking to that. This is number 33. Okay, 33rd birthday. Okay, Maya. So somebody out there could totally be stepping into a position where they have space to speak their truth and bring forth change. And you might do this in a creative way. 4411 was just on the clock there. So you may do this in a creative way, whether it's dance. I just heard liberation. So you may dance at some type of political function, or highly some type of activist, like some type of gathering for activism against something. Okay. It could be prison reform. I'm not sure why that's coming to my mind. Prison reform is a big one. Yeah, for whatever reason, I'm thinking about two chains right now. Maya Angelou's got this double chain on her neck, and I'm different. Yeah, I'm different. That's what I'm thinking about. And so I do feel this vibe. If you haven't connected with Maya Angelou's work, it would be nice for you to do so at this time, especially if you're looking for healing, deep healing. Okay, also inspiration. If you're looking for inspiration about how to use your voice, this would be a very Maya Angelou is welcoming you to join with her, okay, to work with her, okay. If especially if you're a writer, let's just throw it out there, especially if you're a writer. But actually, she's saying that any medium that you work with, she can help you channel messages of activism, okay. She says that you can't the song says you can't live your life for free, so I'm taking risks. So my Angelou definitely took those risks in her writing. Even the poem, I can't even remember the name of the poem she did, but even the poem that she did at that inauguration spoke to injustices. It was a very powerful thing to see her black woman, her black self, right, in the midst of all of these political figures and in center stage, saying the words that she was saying, okay, with so much power and authority. All right. So somebody, you may be given authority over a certain program. It's not within your skill set per se, but your outlook or the way that your mind works will be valued in this space. Okay. They get a thrill off of turning you down. That's what who is this? 11:22 on the clock. Moneybag, yo, if pain was a person, my Angelou, if pain was a person, if you know anything about her story growing up, if pain was a person, okay. So I do feel as if Maya Angelou is asking us to really channel our pain, our that intense anger, even fear, channel it into art right now, channel it into spoken word, channel it into writing, okay. Just use your voice. So if you've been feeling ancestral presence around you recently, if you've been feeling the opening of your throat chakra, also if you feel like you've been dreaming more, then this is a message for you. This is a message for you, to channel some of this stuff into a creative medium, writing being at the top of that, poetry, and being at the top of that. Also, there could be a public figure in your local community, okay, wherever you are. There could be a public figure. This doesn't have to be in law or in government or anything, but it could just be someone that is well known in the community, that is a philanthropist in the community. You could be partnering with this person soon to bring light to something, or you might be asked to perform or something at an event that they're doing, okay? Could also be recognized. So this could be a partnership, but you might also be recognized publicly because of this, or become recognized publicly because of this. All right. All right. So lastly, oh, okay, yeah. Katherine Johnson, mathematician, graduated from college at the age of 18, double majoring in mathematics and French. Started working for the National Advisory Committee of Aeronautics, NACA, in 1953 when she learned they were hiring African American women to be their computers. After NACA became NASA, Katherine was selected to be one of the people to try to figure out how to get humans into space, and worked backwards in order to make sure the calculations would work. worked on the calculation to help get the Apollo astronauts home from the moon. In 2015, then President Barack Obama honored Catherine with the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which is the highest honor for the United States civilians. In 2016, the story of Catherine, Dory Vaughn, and Mary Jackson was told in the box office smash Hidden Figures. This is a beautiful message, and I again got chills all over, okay? Because we just had a billionaire go into space, it's very significant because in all of the public mentions of this, you don't hear anything about what made it possible, who made it possible, okay? So again, that message of getting the credit, okay? Now, this is also speaking to me because there is going to be another panel of people called upon. Now, if this is people of the diaspora, I'm not sure, but these people will be called upon and a group will be formed again, because the people who are going into space now are not astronauts. You know what I'm saying? They're not astronauts. So I'm sensing that we're going to have some mishaps. Oh, my feet are itching. That we're going to have some mishaps and some people who have expertise or everything you claim to be. So if you are studying space, if you are an astronomer, if you are a mathematician, then these are the things that you should, even if this is anything that you've ever considered, be aware that the opportunity may be getting ready to present itself, okay? And I'm hearing that you don't need to hold yourself back, okay? It's been done, so it's possible. You know what I'm saying? It's not impossible anymore. It's been done now. Okay, I wish that we could change places. So Catherine, okay, she may be transitioning soon. Did she already transition since then? Okay, she died last year. Okay, in Newport News, Virginia. Okay. Actually, I was supposed to move to Newport News, Virginia in 2014. Never did. Anyway, okay, so this message, she said, I wish that we could change places. So she wants to walk into someone. You guys know what a walk in, right? Is when a spirit comes and walks into your body. Basically, you embody the spirit. We can call it possession as well if you like, whatever you're comfortable with, right? But Katherine Johnson is saying that she wishes that she could still be here to see this happening, to where people are going to space for fun. To, like, it's a field trip. She says that she wishes she could be here to see this, right? But someone may be taking on her spirit, okay? And we'll see that and I think it'll be very obvious for some people. I don't know if you are tuned in, you will know that we are in that cycle again, and that we're seeing history happen again, basically, okay? Excuse me. For whatever reason, they put computers in quotes because that's how they referred to these women that they wanted to hire. They needed them to be their computers. And computers are what? The motherboard, could play on words there, okay? But anyway, computers are the brain, the system, the mechanism by which calculations were attained, by which these solutions were found, okay? So I do feel as if they will be building up on some of this, of course, these old systems. I think they're going to be pulling some of this stuff back into play. I wouldn't be the person to tell you the name of these systems because I have no clue. But it does feel as if, okay, remember in here says that it said they needed to figure out how to get humans into space, and she worked backwards in order to make sure the calculations would work. You remember in school when the teacher would have you start with the answer and go backwards to make sure that the problem was right? Or if it was division, you would check the division with multiplication to make sure it was right. So something like that is going to be taking place. We will be working backwards, or we'll be from where we are here, we'll be reaching backwards to some of that wisdom and knowledge, that earlier wisdom and knowledge that was found, those calculations, probably those very calculations, will probably be pulled forward and used now. Somebody gonna get stuck out there, I think. And even though we have astronauts and we have more knowledge, and NASA knows how to do so many things now, I don't know what it would be that would take place that would require this special knowledge or special wisdom, but it seems like that's going to be a thing. Okay. Seems like it's going to be a thing. Also, Catherine is also saying too, this is how you can make sense of whatever problem you're having right now, is to work backwards. Okay. Some of you too, to find the root of a problem that you have in your life right now, you're going to need to retrace your steps, but it won't be just a thinking about the steps. Okay. It'll be literally that you will find that you're reliving certain processes pretty much in reverse, leading you back to a very specific happening or situation. Okay. So that's going to be significant for someone. Hey, 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 hey. Ooh, I'm excited for the person receiving that reading and said the same thing. I receive it. Yes, yes, yes. I'm sorry, y'all didn't have my chat on, so I didn't know y'all was talking to me. I'm not doing individual ancestor readings. Maybe if you're here at the end, I can do that, but I want to make sure to get the groups here for the readings. So let's go ahead and talk about the Kingdom of Zimbabwe. Kingdom of Zimbabwe. What message do we have here? The sun. Come on. Come on. Remember, something is coming to light. Something is coming to light. Credit is being given. Light is being shown up on something. Inaccuracies. Something is being unearthed. Okay. Something is being brought to the surface. Okay. So again, all of those sayings, all of those phrases that I just said, keep them in mind, because that's what's going to happen. That's what you're going to hear in the news. You're going to hear floated to the surface. You're going to hear unearthed. You're going to hear these terms, and they're going to be talking about some of these artifacts and things that are proving that a different storyline is true. Okay. Just like in group one. I'm also hearing too with this, that this may mean that this may mean that there's certain land ownership in China. I'm just going to put that out there. But there's certain land ownership in some of these other places, these other countries on different continents. There's land rights that some of you will have access to. Okay. Because I mean, look. Okay. I just heard that a lot of spaces there, like near the Tropic of Cancer, are going to become heavily inhabited. Thing is beeping. So are going to become heavily inhabited with people of the diaspora because of this very thing, claiming land, claiming ownership over land. Okay. That's what that feels like. But even if it's not like overseas, again, that came up in the first one. So on a individual level, it's going to be happening. But I definitely get this feeling that it's going to be a big deal. It's going to be a big deal. Okay. And I heard a time such as this. So I'm feeling like that these ancestors are telling us that, the time for restoration of legacy, or the time of rebuilding of these kingdoms, is here. Okay. Things that were left in ruins before, you are now being empowered to rebuild, and just know that a firmament will be placed around them as well. Okay. Now that can be on an individual level, but also if you are someone who is chosen to build a kingdom or a nation, then you need to know that it will be protected by the ancestors. There will be a hedge of protection around it. Okay. It will. I just heard, please don't think that we're going to let them come burn it down or flood it or put it under a lake. Okay. That's all I'm saying. They said we're not repeating those cycles. We're going to have different outcomes this time around. Okay, I hadn't even started shuffling for the up. See, losses are going to be recovered with the Five of Pentacles here. Losses are going to be recovered, and honestly, I feel I'm hearing they'll be eaten alive, and I'm gonna just leave that up to your interpretation. But I heard they'll be eaten alive. Okay, I'm also hearing that the ancestors say they've seen it all, and they waited for a time such as this. Okay, they waited for a time such as this. Okay, and what I feel, because up there is Harriet Tubman nursing a soldier here, and I feel as if this is talking about too the fact that there will be some type of actually right now what's happening is that people of all backgrounds obviously are being wiped out. The numbers are being dwindled so that not so that, but because they already know that this is going to happen. So the targeting of people, certain groups, races, dynamics of people, is because there are rights to things that they don't want to release. Okay, so these ancestors of this kingdom are telling us that the losses will be recovered, and what's seemingly hidden, they see. And you gonna see it here, and they're gonna show it to you too. So if you've been getting called to like build a homestead, or homestead being that you have like your own farming, maybe even animals and things like that. If you've been called to build a homestead, then this is a message for you that will be you claiming your rights back. Okay, that will be you reclaiming sovereignty, and so they're encouraging you to do that. These ancestors of Zimbabwe are encouraging us to build more homesteads, to build more nations of our own. I'm also being led to tell you that you can Google, and I think it was Wikipedia. Wikipedia has a whole list of nations that have been formed all around the world, by just normal everyday people who decided they wanted to form a nation. Some of the nations are two people, some of them are hundreds of people, and so look into that if that's something that you feel as if you've been led to do or called to do. Let's move on to my Angelou. Beautiful, beautiful goddess mother. What message do you have? What do you want to add to the messages that have been given, my Angelou? What do you want? She said, I got a lot to say, gal. Okay, so I want to take that card over there. Seven of Pentacles. Okay, yeah, look. Let me just show y'all this card. Says, I done had my share of being walked over, now I'm smarter. So this is talking about learning from the past, because the Seven of Pentacles does talk about trying to decide whether something is even worth your effort. Okay, and my Angelou is saying, yes, it's worth your effort. Any little effort is worth it. It feeds the mission. It brings the mission forward, even if you only have a little to offer. Give what you have. And since we were talking about using your voice more, it's saying, yes, your voice matters, right? The Seven of Pentacles in this card is also like a man trying to outrun death. Okay. So so I do feel, again, we are talking about the finality of something here. The Seven of Pentacles is not a finality card. Oh, okay, Aruma Love, come through to tell us, yes, it's a finality with the last card, 21. Okay, the World. It says this is a finality of something. And look how he's spinning the globe. Spinning the globe, saying that, yeah. Okay, so yeah, there's a whole cycle that's completing of us just trying to outrun the past. That's also a message she's giving here too, about the things that we have been through as a people, but even the things that you've been through as an individual. The way to keep moving forward, or the way to progress yourself with those things, is to put them into a medium so that they can be shared, so they can bring healing to the collective. I'm also hearing too, I'm hearing someone say, I'm hearing her say that it's okay to take a break, just don't give up. It's okay to take a break. Just don't give up. There's a lot of work to be done, she's saying. There's still a lot of work. Yeah, Queen of Pentacles and the world. There's still a lot to be done. So if you feel like you don't have a place or that you're not significant, she's reminding you of her, who she was, where she came from. I don't want to go into her story because that's not the point. But if you feel like you've been discouraged, or like, who am I to do this or who am I to do that, go read Maya Angelou's story, okay? And you will realize that you are that bitch. Like, that's why you went through it, so you could show up the way you need to, so you can show up the way she showed up. Mm-hmm. Unashamed, unapologetic, okay? Because going through certain things like that, it really empowers your voice. You know what I'm saying? It's hurtful, it's painful, yes, but it empowers your voice, okay? Who is this up here in the top of this, in this one? Someone is Maya Angelou is saying that you need to be more dedicated to the work that you're doing. You're doing great, but if you want to outrun what's coming to try to shut you up, then you're going to need to be more consistent, and you're going to need to put a lot more effort into it than you've been putting into it. Okay, come on through, mama. Okay, so yeah, look at that. Okay, so then we also have healing energy. Yeah, we did talk about deep healing when we talked about her. This says up here is Teno, the god of healing from Ghana, and then up in the top is Henry Austin Flipper of Thomasville, Georgia. This is talking about self-criticism, objective evaluation of your own work, partial gains, and the importance of being able to wait. Dedication. So, yeah, dedicating to your craft, not falling for or not seeking like instant pleasure or instant results. Because let's just think about this. Maya Angelou's influence spanned in her waking life. She spanned over 50 years. It wasn't something that she just did overnight. Many people get tired after 2 or 3 years trying to pursue something and then walk away from it thinking that it's not meant for them, or, oh, if it was supposed to be a thing, it would have blown up by now. But we do live in a society of where we do want instant gratification. So Maya Angelou is telling us to be aware of that. The mission requires patience, and it's not an overnight job. Okay. That's what this message is. And be careful about the people that you compare yourself to, is what Maya Angelou is saying too. Remember, you are royalty. Be careful the people you allow to criticize you or to speak on your value or your importance. Okay. Let's move on to Catherine. Beautiful, beautiful. She kind of look like my granny. All right, so Miss Catherine Johnson, what do you want to add to the messages that we're giving here? What do you want to tell us? Six of Pentacles. Okay, so with the Six of Pentacles, okay, we have that energy of giving what's received. Also, penny pinching. I'm hearing her speak about how little they were paid. Okay, I'm hearing even when she passed away, she was given awards and accolades, of course, but there is a message here about how little they were really given. Okay, for their work, for their time, for their findings. I'm also feeling like I'm just hearing reparations. I feel like not in general, not in the general sense that we're hearing it spoken about, but whoever comes into these positions to assist in this time will be receiving so much more than Catherine ever imagined being received. Okay, for the work. Okay. And the positions are much more than just being a computer. Okay, or the computer is being seen as true light, as the motherboard, as the brain. Okay, And I'm hearing for someone very specifically, it's okay to reveal yourself. I'm hearing that somebody is ashamed of being like nerdy or something. If you're an engineer or a mathematician, then nerdiness is cool. I mean, I guess nerdiness is cool anyway. But Miss Catherine is definitely speaking to the fact that you need to have more pride in what you do know, in what you're interested in, because if she was such too ashamed, or if she counted herself out, just think if any of those women, Catherine, Dorothy, or Mary, if they had counted themselves out or devalued the knowledge that they had, would we have made the advances that we were able to make? So there is also something about showing up as yourself, like revealing who you are, revealing your gifts and your skills, your talents. Okay. And know that what you're due, you will receive from it. Times have changed, I'm hearing. Yeah, she said times have changed. So you're gonna receive what you're meant to receive. Can you give me one more card for that, Miss Mary? I mean Miss Catherine. What else is this? What else do you want to say? Oh yeah, see, 6 and 6. Yeah, 6 wands, 6 of wands, 6 of pentacles. Definitely speaking to the fact that you're going to receive the notoriety. You're going to receive the proper pay. You're going to receive the proper whatever you're supposed to get. Okay, for this work. Now, this may not be you in NASA, but for whatever reason, I'm being told to tell you that if you definitely are an engineer or into science, mathematics, STEAM, okay, subjects, then you should come forward. Come forward. We need more people to come forward, and you're going to receive the acclaim. Okay, you're going to break records. You're going to go down in record books, because back there in the background is Usain Bolt. Okay, you're going to break. You're going to set records. Okay. So she wants us to come forward with confidence. Okay. We have Oshun colors here, and then we have Oya colors here. So Oya is the maker of storms. She brings about dramatic change. And then Oshun is the sweetness of life, the rewards. You know what I'm saying? She's like rewards, okay? From putting our heart into something. I would say that Oshun would be more about when you put your heart into something, and then that shows up as money or favor in different areas. Okay. It's gonna be money though, because the Queen of Pentacles is back at the bottom. So it's gonna definitely be a nicer life, a nicer existence. The compensation is gonna be way better this time around. Okay. And now I'm hearing if you're doing something for the second time, or you're replacing someone else in a position, just know that in no time you're going to be making much more than they ever intended to pay anybody in that position. Okay. And I'm also hearing that you're going to be noticed very, very early in your time there, and you're going to climb a ladder very quickly, and you're going to be compensated. She keeps saying you're going to be compensated appropriately. So all right. Okay, I think that's everything. Actually, let me see who these women are in this back of this 6 of Pentacles here. Harriet Tubman again, in Maryland and New York. So this is her. She was feeding people. Okay, she was giving out lunches and stuff like that up there. So okay. The God giver of the flock, to the founder of the Maasai tribe. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. So you're also going to be given students or a tribe to lead. Okay. So again, in this project, somebody could be moving into the position where they have troops under them, or they have again, like I said, people under you who you are to lead. Okay. You're going to be the team lead or the director or whatever. That's what you're going to be this time around. Promotion. So with the 6 of Wands, is promotion. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right, let's see how we want to close this message here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Steadiness. Things seem to be moving slowly, but use this time to your advantage and gather your resources and rebuild your energy. You are going to need them. Rest, but don't give up. Remember, Maya Angelou told us to rest, but don't give up. So it does feel like a lot of responsibility is coming to this group soon. A lot of responsibility is coming to you soon. So it's saying to rest, pamper yourself, to gather up your resources so that when it gets here, you're ready and you have the energy to move. It says you're going to need them. All right, that's it with group 2. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, and group 3 with the lapis slate. I just heard you. This is all off topic, but you probably channel Syrian energy. So this is highly intellectual energy, creative energy, particularly with communication, and then also with technological advances. Okay, I just heard that thing from Black Panther again. So be a child running your technological advantage, your technological advancements or something like that. I can't remember how he said it. All right, so what we have here, let's go this way. I think he's supposed to be like this. Okay, so first we have ALARA of Nubia. I like that his clothing or his garments look like Egyptian apparel, and the lapis lazuli is a stone that's directly connected to Egypt. Okay. Alara was the first known king of Kush, ruling an ancient kingdom in Nubia, which was located below Egypt in the area of Sudan. As the founder of the Napatine royal dynasty, Alara governed the empire with his wife and half-sister Kasakwa. Little is known about Alara's rule, but he was able to unify much of Nubia during his reign and strengthen his new kingdom. When Alara died, his brother took his place and continued to grow the empire. Alara's ancient kingdom would flourish for centuries because of his strong leadership and strategic planning. So Alara's coming through very, very, very strongly to say that that there's a shared destiny here. You have a shared destiny, maybe with your children, maybe with your siblings. So this is something that you're going to do as much as you can while you're here and capable, and then it will be continued by a sibling or a child of yours. Okay. Now this speaks to whatever endeavor you're building right now. I have been speaking about the longevity of endeavors, but this one specifically is saying that something is going to stay within your bloodline. Something is going to continue to be owned by you. You know what I'm saying? Through your descendants. Okay. I heard purity, so it's going to be untouched. It's going to be untouched by an outside entity or government, maybe even. You may even form your own government. We did speak of building on our own nations here. And then he says sovereignty. So yeah, about sovereign nations and things like that. Yeah. I'm also hearing too, since we do have the Moors showed up in the very beginning, and then the nanny of the Maroons is here. I do feel as if this is speaking to perhaps people who need to research reclaiming their sovereignty. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. Reclaiming their sovereignty. Okay, whether that be in a formal way or in just a spiritual manner. This is what we're speaking of. Okay. I just heard nameless. So nameless. Okay, someone is worried that they won't complete what they're here to complete or do what they're here to do, and you're scared that you won't fulfill your destiny. Alara is saying that's caca. That's crap. Don't even lean into that. Don't lean into that. It says you will reign through your descendants. And I'm not even hearing that it's like 6 or 7 lines of descendants. I'm just hearing your immediate descendants are going to ensure that this is a thing. Okay. I'm also picking up too that if you are trying to heal certain dynamics within your family, like your extended family right now, when you walk away, someone else will be doing that work. Okay. So when you finish and you kind of like wash your hands and you know that your part is done, this looks like it will be healed in the next generation. Whatever it is that you were attempting to work through will be healed in the next generation. Okay. So perhaps you may feel defeated that you weren't able to accomplish certain things or get through to people in your family. It definitely feels like you don't have to worry too much about it, because whatever it is, whatever I'm picking up on someone who has to separate themselves from the family unit for now, just to raise these children, and your children, after you have raised them, will be better equipped to connect with the next generation of people. So the generation that they're in, I'm saying, they will be able to lead the family in a new healthy direction. Okay. So don't worry too much about not being able to quote unquote finish um healing a dynamic in your family. Okay. It's gonna continue to heal, and it seems like there's only one more generation um before you find that this is being rectified within your family unit. I'm hearing a new kingdom, because it said little is known about Alara's rule, but he was able to unify much of Nubia during his reign and strengthen his new kingdom. So I feel like whatever you're doing right now is setting the tone, but it won't like solidify or become like the norm in your family until the next generation. Okay, thank you, Alara, King of Kush. I be up high where the trees be, Kush. King of Kush, I be up high where the trees be. Okay. Nanny of the Maroons is here next. Okay, let's see what she's talking about. Celebrated Jamaican war hero and community leader. Leader of the Jamaican Maroons who fought against British forces during the early 1700s. Born in Ghana and escaped slavery in Jamaica to form her own group, the Maroons, who lived in a nanny town. Organized many raids against the British and is credited with helping free over 1,000 slaves. Worked as a powerful healer of both physical and spiritual illnesses in the area thanks to her West African roots. Nanny's legacy lives on. She is remembered as one of the earliest leaders of slave resistance in the Americas. Okay, sis. Like, oh, I just got chills again. Um, yeah, okay, so Nanny of the Maroons. Okay, so much emphasis is going towards the nanny town. Okay, so some of you are meant to work with children in a very like immersive way. So group homes, transitional living facilities, even going into foster like into um shelters and things like that, and working specifically with the children there. I'm also picking up on a society or a community with just women and children. I'm not sure if that's what they mean by a nanny town, but it does feel like a community with just women and children would be significant. Okay, and Nanny is saying too that you would benefit, or this would be most successful um, in the islands or in the Caribbean somewhere, even Central America. I'm picking up, but the islands and the Caribbean for sure. If you were to be in that space, um, this would be very very successful there. Okay, not only for children in that area or people in that area, but it would become okay, like a preferred home for certain children or for certain people. I would think that, particularly impoverished families or children who I don't know, like how they would pick which kids would get to go to the islands and live there. I'm not sure how that thing would go, but it just feels as if having that dynamic would be better than what we have here. And not just because of the systems, but because of the nature, because of the traditions and things like that. It would give a more healing environment than we're able to offer here. Okay. Legally, there's a lot of rules and regulations that would bind us to keep certain things from being put into place that would be more helpful for our groups of people who need to be healed. Okay. Starting with the kids, but I'm also picking up like women who need help, who need safe space to heal, to get back on their feet. We're not talking about shelters. We're not talking about that. We're talking about like, and what I'm seeing is like literally resort communities and things like that, where people come, they're not surrounded by poverty and other people struggling. They're surrounded by beauty. They're surrounded by nature and abundance. And that actually is able to heal them. Okay. And get them on their way. All right. So this feels beautiful. So maybe we're going to see a popping up of some nanny towns. That would be a beautiful thing. Even if we were able to see it in the US, it would be great just to have some private spaces where women and children can be and they can experience. I'm hearing luxury, but it's not necessarily luxury in society's sense. It's the luxury of nature and the luxury of natural healing, of compassion and actual focus on your entire being. Okay, not just on giving you a place to lay your head at night. Okay, and a food voucher. Okay, so this can be created here, I believe too. But again, Nanny is saying that in those different spaces, it would be even more beneficial. Okay. All right, let's move on. We got Michael Jackson. Come through, y'all. This is my daddy. Literally, my mom is in love with Michael Jackson. Okay. And growing up, we literally used to say this was our daddy. Okay. We literally used to say Michael Jackson was our dad. So Michael shared lead vocals at age 7 in the family band, the Jackson 5. They were the first group to debut with 4 consecutive #1 hits on the Hot 100 with the songs I Want You Back, ABC, The Love You Save, and I'll Be There. His album, Off the Wall, sold over 11 million copies in 1979. His album, Thriller, sold 27 million copies worldwide and is still considered one of the greatest records of all time, becoming 30 times multi-platinum. Widely known as the King of Pop, Jackson has sold over 750 million records and won 13 Grammys. Recognized by the Guinness World Records for over 100 million albums sold outside the US. Let's say that again. Recognized by the Guinness World Records for over 100 million albums sold outside the US and donating to the most charities in 1 year. He had 13 #1 hits during his career, supported dozens of charities, including USA for Africa, Elizabeth Taylor AIDS Foundation, and the United Negro College Fund. Daddy, you was doing your thing when you was down here for sure, okay? Okay, so they spoke of the number 13 multiple times. He won 13 Grammys and he had 13 #1 hits during his career. 13 is a very, very powerful number. Actually, my daddy was probably an alien. He was living in fourth dimensional time and space, okay? Because that number 13 is really a number of fourth dimensional time, okay? It talks about the cycles past. So the zodiac is the 12. Well, they talk about the 13 being the break into the new paradigm, or the break into the other how do I want to say it? The other, I don't know what word to use, okay? But 13 is also a magic number, okay? So if you will see a lot of I guess witches or occultists really use the number 13 in their practices. So for whatever reason, I'm hearing that, okay? Ooh, listen to some albums. If you have a favorite Michael Jackson song, go listen to that whole album. Okay. If you have a song that comes to your mind when you think Michael Jackson, go listen to that album and just meditate with it. See what messages and downloads you get from it. Okay. That's what he's telling us. He has people. Michael is saying he has people who he wants to connect with, who he would like to imbue, right? He would like to imbue with these keys so that you can one, so that you can understand the world that you live in, and then two, so that you can again feel empowered to raise your voice as well. Okay, so as an artist, many of his most powerful songs when it comes to just spirit and healing never really got the attention that they should have gotten. Not that Michael just didn't get attention with everything he put out, because he really did, right? But when you think about it, something like the Earth Song, many people probably don't even know what I'm talking about when I say Earth Song, but that was a powerful song. And in the message, he's literally talking to God like, what about all the things that you said we were to gain? What about all the promises that you made, that you gave your only son? Like, he's talking to God, you know what I'm saying? And asking all these questions from a very vulnerable place, not challenging him, not challenging God, but just saying like, yo, what about killing sprees? Have you seen all the blood that's being shed? What about the kids dying in war? So he's really pleading with God. It's like, why? Like, why does this have to be a thing? Why are we living in this? And so I do feel as if you feel connected to Michael Jackson's spirit, he's asking you or inviting you to come into meditation with him. Like, come into meditation with Mike, because you will find that you will be able to see hidden meaning. Okay, so Michael ain't even coming with this world type of message. He's coming with an otherworldly type of message. He said, you will have your third eye activated. You will be able to see beyond illusion if you just meditate with him for a moment, because you will understand the underlying meanings from a lot of his lyrics and a lot of his music, even the symbolism in his videos. Okay, you will begin to understand and unravel some truths. Okay, he didn't hide them, but he did put lots of messages in the videos. That's why he was so specific and so particular with his the people who worked with him about how things were done, what the energy that was put into things, because he understood, one, that what he was doing was magic and it was going to cast spells. And he was hoping, and he is hoping to this day, that you still will go and listen so that you can have full sight, full understanding. Wow. Check in with y'all. Okay. That's okay. Pops, that's powerful. Anything else? Okay. Also too, Michael is saying too, if you have children with gifts and talents, please give them the attention that they need to develop their gifts and talents. Okay. Give them the attention that they need. Okay. They need support. They need education, so that they can fully understand and accept themselves, so that they won't be manipulated out in this world. Okay. He's saying by giving them power, giving them knowledge of self and tools to utilize the powers that they have, they will become powerful beings. I don't want me to reusing the word, but they will become beings, multidimensional beings. That's what Michael Jackson was, a very multidimensional being. Okay. And so he's speaking to the multidimensional beings within our collective. If you're here, that's what you are. Honestly, we are an eclectic group. We are multidimensional. If you are here, that's what you are. So let's go ahead and clarify these messages. Let's start with Alara, the king of Kush. What the honorable king, what do you want to add to this message that I have delivered here? Nine of Swords. Come on. Okay, yeah, you remember we were talking about the worry and the concern about what can be accomplished while you're here, or how much change you can actually bring with your efforts. I am hearing that that look at this one. This guy's up here in this gas mask. I feel like this is speaking to kind of like the fact that you're gonna make it out of what you're in. um and 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 you just need to kind of like almost like give gratitude to yourself, praise yourself for what you have accomplished or what you have been able to take care of in your time. Okay, somebody is feeling like they're running out of time, and he's saying you're not running out of time because you will still be here even after this um earthly visit is over. Okay, you will still be here. Again, we talked about, in your descendants, your ideas, your mind, your spirit will continue to be here. Now, the Nine of Swords is a card of like depression, fear, anxiety, doubt. Okay, it's also a message of like nightmares. Okay, so I do feel as if um a lot. Oh, okay. I'm hearing a lot of you are handling things too a lot more than you know in the spirit realm. Okay, so Alara, even though that connection to Egypt makes me think a lot about the spirit realm. And then again, we are working with the lapis slate with this group, and so lapis is tied to Isis, and so Isis was the one who brought her husband back to life. So there's this regenerative cycle that we're talking about, of being able to continue the work over and over, through our descendants. I do like that energy there. Um, can we have one more card though? Honorable King Alara, what do you want to add? Just one, please. Oh, the Nine of Swords also. With swords, it also talks about planning. Okay, so a lot of stress, a lot of oh, okay. For some of you, Alara is speaking to you about estate planning, protecting your estate. Even if you don't feel like you have enough to protect legally, Alara is telling you, yes, protect it, because again, that next generation is going to be growing this estate beyond what you can imagine right now. Okay, so do the foundational work of now with that Moorish or the maroon, Nanny Maroon, coming up earlier, and then the Moors showing up earlier on. I do feel like this could talk about like researching your status, researching and correcting your status. I'm not going to go into that part very much here, but there's information out there. If you're interested, go check out Brother Truth on Instagram, or his website is iselflawmaster.com. iselflawmaster.com. If you enjoy self-study more, then uh pick up Black's Law book, or the Black's Law Dictionary, I think it's called, so that you can study. I'm also picking up too, not picking up, but telling you, go get you a copy. It's like $3, a copy of the U.S. Constitution, and read it so that you understand it. Okay, understand what's being said there, so that you can build your estate and protect it. Okay, greetings, greetings, greetings. Okay, so there's a lot of information in there, and that's what these people, these individuals who are here leading this wave and informing us about who we are and how the system works, who we are in the system, what rights we have in the system that are not actually honored on a regular basis, um, property that we own, monies that we have access to that we're not given access to. Again, I said I wasn't going to go into it, but that's a little there for you. And if you feel so led, go connect, Brother Truth or iselflawmaster.com. Okay, so let's keep on. I have one more card here to help clarify this message. And then I need to look to see who this is with this gas mask on. 10 of Pentacles. Yeah, estate planning. Estate planning. You need to plan out your estate, and again, that can mean anything. If at this point all you can do is write a will and say, "Hey, I got $100 in my bank account. If I die today, then my kids get it." That's what you need to do. Okay, it's saying just from at the very basic level, you can just do the research. I don't know why that song is making me dance right now. But anyway, we got Martin Luther King here. Yeah, Martin Luther King was one of those people who we feel like passed away or was taken away before he was able to really complete his work, but the work was continued right after him, and continues to this day. So I do feel like there's a beautiful message speaking to that. Estate planning is going to be a beautiful, beautiful tool for somebody out there right now. 9 of Swords. This is Ula Kanyana, dwarf demon, sworn enemy of mankind. Listen, protecting your assets from the enemy or from those who seek to steal or control it or dominate you in general. And then you have Garrett Morgan in the background. Let me look him up because I have no idea what that name, whose name, Garrett Morgan? Inventor, businessman, and community leader. What is his most notable invention? 3-position traffic signal and a smoke hood, notably used in the 1916 tunnel construction disaster rescue. Yeah, so secret societies or secret communities or the under the information that's not taught very much, but it's almost like an underground railroad where people are being brought to freedom legally or through status. You're being brought to freedom via status or via knowledge of self and who you really are, and knowledge of the system and how it works against you. Okay. All right. So that's a beautiful message. Thank you so much. Might as well look at the 10 of Pentacles since we're here. Weary, ancestral protecting spirits. Yes. From Gabon and Martin Luther King Jr. Memphis. Family harmony, health, well-being, family income, agreement, and inheritance. Come on, y'all. We can't make this up. The 9 of Swords and the 10 of Pentacles. Your worries will be eased once you create the system or the mechanisms that will protect your legacy. Okay, let's go. All right. Nanny Maroon. What do you want to add? Ooh, title card. Okay. Okay, so again, when I see title cards, it's often about a guidebook or a how-to. I also feel as if it's like the cover of something, a cover of a book. Okay, so I feel like you may need to seek out a certain wisdom, or you need to start a grimoire of some sort. Okay, that documents whatever it is that you're healing, whatever you're doing right now with your healing talents, or whatever you're doing to collect wisdom right now. Nanny Maroon is saying that you need to document it. You need to document it more. Even some of you may have a book in you when it comes to when it comes to what you hold right now, just the wisdom that you hold currently. It says you may have a book in you from that. I'm also picking up on the fact that I'm hearing Queen Afua, right? So I'm hearing that there is definitely some healers here who will become very well known for what they do. And I honestly feel like it's going to be specifically geared towards children, and then of course mothers. So or battered women, even, just women who've been kind of downtrodden. Okay, so I feel like there's going to be specific groups or specific people here who are going to lead these types of groups. You're going to create homes for them, create healing spaces for them, even if it's not in the form that we spoke about earlier, as in like resorts and things like that. But even if it's just like you're creating sacred spaces for them to be in, then you're favored in this. May I have one more card to assist with this message? For some reason as well, this card is saying that you might do well to connect with the river spirits. particularly like Oshun, Yemoya, river spirits, if you are of the diaspora or if you are an advocate of the diaspora, advocate or ally. We speak to advocates and allies. Okay, so we have the Five of Wands and the Three of Wands. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, you're going to be a protector. Okay, you're going to be a protector. Is this Olokun? Look, if you ever need anything, I got you. That's what this that's what Nanny's message is. Someone is concerned about building something that's just for women and children because of the sense of protection. You may feel like there's a lack of protection, but Nanny Maroon said no, I'll be there protecting you, and I have my goons too. I got my goon too. Okay. So like many other ancestors will be there as well. Guarding these sacred spaces, you see. And I'm not sure where it was, but there were groups that were like this, where there were only women and children, and then the men only guarded the space, and then they only came into the space when they were invited, okay, for whatever they were invited for. But I remember hearing stories about that, and so this is kind of that same vibe. But even if you don't have actual physical men, the Nanny Maroon is saying that she will be there protecting you. You know, this is you fearful that as you cross through this threshold, that you're going to be met with opposition, or that that you won't be able to keep the people safe. And I don't, and I'm hearing that that's not the case. You need not worry about that. I do believe this is Olakun, but with the Five of Wands and the Three of Wands, you need to trust. I'm also hearing you're going to be cloaked or shielded. So whatever, like if you end up someone who's doing like a big something, like a resort or something like that, you're going to be so well hidden. Okay, nobody's going to be able to get access to you or the people that you're responsible for providing safe space for. Even though there are hyenas, and these can be individual people who just don't like you as an individual, or this can be entire systems that are working against what it is that you want to do. Okay, so on every level you will be safe and protected. If you're creating safe spaces for people, then the ancestors are letting you know you're good to go. You don't got to worry about any type of ill forces coming in and affecting. Okay. Says, I got something to say. I ain't with the games. I ain't come to play. Okay, that's what she said. Okay, so she didn't remember. She organized many raids against the British and credited for helping free over 1,000 slaves. So she ain't come to play, and we already know. Okay, so yeah, that is Olokun. Olokun and the Chameleon. Okay, and then you have Denmark Vesey of St. Thomas, Santo Domingo. Okay, I'm also picking up too that weapons training, horseback riding, these types of things are going to be valuable skills in the very near future. Okay, so if you have access to weapons training and working with animals, I mean like horses, cows, like larger animals, then that's going to be necessary, particularly horseback riding. Okay, something about that is important here. Okay, big message of your projects, your eggs will be kept safe so that they can hatch, so that they can thrive. This I guess goat or ram is pregnant and crossing this threshold and looks like prey to these hyenas. But the message is that no, you will be able to birth this, and it will be able to grow, you know, whatever it is that's in gestation right now for you on an individual level. All right, Michael Jackson, what you got, King of Pop? Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands. Yeah, a creative spark happening for somebody. I also look now. I just heard they don't really care about us. Okay. Okay. Ooh, okay. Very specifically, Mike is talking about your own village. Your own village. Not in the way that we've been talking about, but he's saying that for some of you, in order to bring forth more light into the world, you will have to burn down your own villages. Said my heart is breaking. Yep. When it gets hard. What else is this saying, Mike? Okay, yeah. So and when I say burn down your own village, this does not literally, but it's saying through the truth that you bring, through the passion that you feel for what it is that you do, it may bring a sense of death upon where you come from. Not like I feel like, yeah, it's like you bring a torch and you light everything afire, because it needed to be burned down and started over. You know what I'm saying? So if this is just like a family unit, this would be like someone coming forward, taking actions that completely obliterate the dynamic that was there before and replaces it with a new one. Okay. Because we have the Knight of Wands and the Knight of Cups showing up here. We have two people, fire signs, water signs. Mike is a Leo. Where's that Leo? Yeah, I don't be knowing. Let me see. No, he's a Virgo. Oh, okay. I knew that. Yeah. I already knew that. Okay, so I do feel too, we got another title card coming out with this group. So, tools for a spiritual journey, he says. Music, your skills, these are all tools for your spiritual journey. Poetry, I mean, any type of spoken art, spoken word. I feel Michael Jackson will be here. Also, dance. We talked about dance and movement in group one. So, I also feel Michael is talking about that as well. So justice also, he feel like yeah, when I said burn the village to the ground, it's a sense of justice being brought to everything. What's that the Killmonger thing? Like, what did it say? Something about somebody not being recognized in their own village and they'll return and burn it to the ground, something like that. Let me just look it up. Y'all know I'm good for looking something up. The child who is not embraced by the village will burn it down to feel its warmth. Yeah. So I do feel like that's talking about that. Okay. It's not about it's not only about not being accepted, because it is about that, but it's also about not being understood. And I feel as if that's why Michael was saying that he would like for us as a collective to spend some time in meditation with his music, because if you're not understood, or if you don't understand, it's hard for you to receive or accept a message or a certain energy. Okay. For some of you, this is definitely some spiritual opening of some sort, some type of spiritual opening for you. You could be channeling Sirius, okay, with the lapis lazuli. I'm also hearing that you could be an Arcturian, Andromedan. Okay. A lot of people said Michael was otherworldly. Okay. And I do feel like that I'm picking up on this energy right now. I'm just can't ignore like this nice, beautiful starry sky behind his flame here. So I do feel like some of you have ancestry in the stars. Okay. You have ancestry in the stars, and a lot of valuable information for you if you look into your origin. Okay. or just look into the things that you feel connected to. For me, when I never knew any of this stuff. One of my first crystals was a lapis stone, and I literally didn't know nothing about none of this, but I bought copper, wrapped my stone, and I made a headband out of it. Okay, it wasn't until like 2 years later that I realized that I made a conduit, and I made a whole freaking energy belt for my forehead, for my third eye, right? And so you'll find that a lot of things that you currently do on your path are actually giving you signs about who you are and what your origin is. Michael is speaking to us a lot about that, because even his jacket looks like the freaking galaxy. His sequins, we know, right? But even looks like the galaxy. So he is speaking about that expansiveness of who you really are and what you have to birth out into the world as a creative activist. Is that a thing? Do people say creative activists? Because I feel like I just coined something. Nah, it's a thing. No. Yeah, no. Creative Activist Network. It's a whole thing. Artists, filmmakers, advisors. Okay. All right. So yeah. So this is speaking. Somebody might be connecting with that organization, or you may need to look into it to see if you have a place in it, right? Um, yeah, Mike is coming through with a lot of more like galactic information, speaking to us more about where you, if you know that if you're not accepted in your home, you have a family in the stars, or you have a home in the stars, come back home. And he's going to bring you back home. He says, come, just listen to whatever song comes to mind. I'm gonna say it again. Whatever song comes to mind when you think Michael Jackson, listen to that album. It's gonna connect you. It's gonna connect you in the way you want to connect. Okay. You're gonna receive downloads. So if you need to, have a pen and paper next to you so that you can write. Okay. A lot of information will come to you. And I'm hearing that you see this title card has the fool on it. So it does feel as if whatever this information is really going to usher you into a new beginning. It's going to help you move with a lot more lightness and freedom. I think you're going to be freeing from your community or from your tribe or your family that has carried you this far, and you're going to probably be journeying off. But this knowledge of self, knowledge of origin is what's going to really help you. See something about it's going to help you detach, and you're not going to carry much with you. You're not going to be carrying much forward with you. Okay. That's what I'm hearing. You won't carry a lot of what you're carrying now with you after you connect in this way. Look, he's also got this cup of flames. No telling, is he about to go burn down the village with it? Did he just burn down the village and that's just the only flame that he left with? Okay. So Michael's got a lot of answers for you if you're willing to go receive them. Okay. All right. Dang, group 3. What we got for group 3? How we want to close that message? Confidence. Heck yeah. Confidence. Believe in magic. You don't need an explanation for everything. Trust it has happened for all the right reasons. Also, for somebody, you could be connecting with a very notable person. I'm not talking like before we talked about a community person or somebody in your community. This is a big somebody. I would say celebrity status, or in Michael Jackson's case, a star, a true star. Okay. Who was that? Okay, so Mike is saying, I'm telling all y'all, rack it up. He said, just go fuck it up. Fuck it up. Fuck it up. Have the confidence. He's saying you don't have to worry. Just go do it. You got this. And do it. Do it big. Like, all right. So that's group 3. That is group 3. Do I have an oracle card that I can give you guys before we leave today? Yep, we can do a fractal to close for this session. Okay, any of the honorable ancestors that showed up today, or any else who wants to speak right now, what message do you want to close this collective, close with, and leave this collective thinking about? All right. I'm hearing right now something about don't worry about fitting in. You know, a lot of the people we just heard about today were people who didn't fit in. Okay. So that's something to be thinking about, how you stand out and being your unique individual self. Okay. Ooh. Brought the waste to China. See, China is going to be a big deal. I don't know what's about to happen, but China is about to be a thing. Okay. It's going to be in the news a lot in the next few weeks, months. Okay, so we have number 37 here. I'll leave this here for you guys to look at for just a couple seconds while I find it, because I love the fractals, the images themselves. And so I think that they're very good tools for meditation, actually. And I can't turn the pages, so I guess y'all gonna get extra long to look at it. Okay. Blossoming. Even simply questioning your life or trying to figure out where and how to move forward moves your energy and aids in opening you to higher awareness and divine purpose. Continue with this. Don't let your human mind, with its limited point of view, tell you that you're stuck or not progressing. It isn't true. You are opening, you are flowing, your soul is blossoming. Keep your faith in both yourself and spirit. Know that you are on the perfect path and that you are opening to your highest potential, one step at a time. You know, this card, in addition to looking like a blossom, it looks like an eye. It looks like the divine eye upon you. It looks like what you probably look like to the divine. Okay. So it's almost like it seems like it's like what the divine sees when they see you. Okay. All right, guys, that's all I got for you. If you enjoyed this reading, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. If you have anything to say, any comments, if you felt like the messages you received were hitting or were beneficial, leave me a comment so I know. And so the collective knows that there's some good stuff in the reading and they'll go look at it. All right. So see you next time. Peace.